Welcome back to the Pittsburgh Basketball Show. I'm George Michalowski today, all alone, just giving a recap of this week, this weekend, the action in Pittsburgh basketball over the last few days here for Pittsburgh Sports Now. We've got RMU, we've got Duquesne, we've got Pitt talk coming up. Stay tuned and let's get right into it. On the RMU front, as well as the Duquesne front, the Euro 2024 U20 Championships are going on over in Poland. RMU's Alvaro Folgueiras is representing Spain over there. He's had a really solid tournament so far. Spain's 3-0. They're playing great, the U20 team, and Alvaro's playing well as well. The 6'9", 215-pound forward. He's heading into his sophomore year, so expecting big things out of him to make a jump. I know he started a few games towards the end of last season for the Colonials, so should have a nice role this upcoming year for Andy Toole's squad. Over in that same tournament, Jakub Necas from Duquesne. We all remember Jakub's run down the stretch last year in the A10 tournament, and then even in that first round game in the upset win over BYU, Jakub clearly looks like a special talent for Drew Joyce. He's playing really well. He's leading Czechia over in this tournament in Poland. Unfortunately, that team's 0-3. They lost to Italy today by 12. So tough go at it for the team. Jakub, though, averaging 13.7 rebounds per game so far over there. So great sign for him midway through the summer, going into his sophomore year with the Dukes, for him to have a good run. So he's a guy who I was so excited to see. I know Keith Dambrot was really excited to see him coming into his freshman year. He played great towards the end. Seemed like the more minutes that he got, the better he looked. So look for him to play well in an expanded role next year for the Dukes. Lastly, we've got a Pitt update. Most of the talk this week around Pitt is about recruiting and about Zoo Crew. We've got the TBT coming to the Pete this weekend. I'll be there. If you guys see me there, come up, say what's up in the press box. But recruiting side, Capel and the whole staff, they're all down south. Capel's at Peach Jam. He watched Malik Thomas. I imagine he was at the game that Malik played against Derek Dixon. I wrote about that on PSN today. Malik and Amari Evans both play for New Heights Lightning. Derek Dixon plays for Team Takeover out of DC. So those three played against each other in the same game yesterday on Sunday. So check out the recap on PSN if you didn't already. The whole staff's out recruiting, though. Middle of the summer. I'm sure they'll be back for the TBT. They all went down last year. I wrote a column about how it was really good for their culture for this TBT team to come back last year with all the alum playing in the Pete, like practicing in front of the old and the new Pitt players, hanging out with the team, hanging out with the coaching staff, and then the whole current Pitt team last year went to the game in Wheeling. So expecting the team to probably show up this year again because it's at the Pete especially. But just a great week overall for the Pitt basketball program whenever the TBT rolls around. Jamel Artis, Mike Young, some of the guys have been playing pro ball for a long time now that are on the team. DeJuan Blair, obviously, is the big name that you see on the roster. Ryan Luther, Jared Wilson Frame, some other guys who have great pro experience at this point, 4, 5, 6 years playing pro ball. I mean, Wilson Frame obviously has spent some time in the NBA, played in the G League last year for the Maine Celtics. So these guys have a lot of talent this year. I think it's a better looking roster than last year. A couple different pieces. No Vance Fields this year. Unfortunately, he was fun, but they have a really good young roster as well as some vets, like I just talked about. Dustin Sleva, they've got one guy who didn't go to Pitt on the team. He went to Shippensburg, local kid. He's a 6'8" power forward, can stretch the floor out. He hit, I think, 63s 3 or 4 years ago. He's been playing pro ball overseas for a while now, so should be a nice player for them at the 3, at the 4. And if they could get DeJuan Blair going inside, I mean, we saw him at the DeMar Hamlin Celebrity Game. Looked really strong still. Didn't look like he has missed a beat since he stopped his NBA career, retired. But I do think this team's going to compete a little bit better than last year. Like they lost to Heard That pretty early. I think probably ended a 10-point game, but kind of got out of hand a bit. You didn't really feel like they ever had control of the game. But tickets are ranging from, I saw $23 as of Monday night to $60. So if you want to get out to the game, show up to the Pete, support the team. It's going to be a fun weekend. It's always a great time. I loved going last year in Wheeling, making that drive down. Is like an hour away. So not bad at all. But the environment, the gym, the fans, the teams, they're so fun. It's a blast to watch. So that's our recap about TBT. Pitt, Duquesne, RMU. To finish it off, we'll talk Bub. I mean, Bub's debut in the NBA the other night, Bub Carrington, if you're new to the program, his debut was special. I mean, he almost had another triple-double. Like, we saw him do it at Pitt, and this felt very similar to that game, to a lot of his games that he played at Pitt. Like, seeing Bub take these shots that he's taken in NBA Summer League, I know it's not regular season, but watching him take the shots that he did this past week in Summer League felt a lot like watching him at Pitt. Like, he was stepping into threes, his classic, like, right wing kind of kicks out his right leg a little bit. Three off the dribble, navigating screens, finding his teammates. Him and Justin Champagnie both played really well this week for the Wizards. So go on to PSN, check out what we've got about those two playing for the Wizards. But so far, it's hard to say that Bub's not going to be good at the next level. I mean, he looks the part. He's still so young, 18 years old. So he's just an exciting player, an exciting talent. I can't wait to keep watching him down in Washington. Hopefully get out to some games this year, see him play. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch up later this week.